Should you detail a brand new car? So what's up guys, welcome to another episode of Pan TheOrganizer. So in today's show, I'll be answering a question that is so often asked by you guys, my viewers. Well, should you be detailing a brand new car, a car that you got brand new delivered straight from your dealership that you're bringing back home? What do you do with it? Should you do anything? I'll be answering that question and also telling you what steps you should be performing on your brand new vehicle. And also I'll be giving you a set of instructions for you to provide your dealership with so they know exactly what to do with your vehicle prior to you taking delivery so you can have the best possible experience and keep that car looking mean and clean for many years to come. So episode jam-packed with a bunch of information, and we're going to make it entertaining. You guys know the drill. Without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. So hey guys, I'm Pan, welcome to the show. I hope you guys are having a great day, so let's dig right into it. But before we go ahead and do so, if you're new to my channel and you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, all the products, equipment, the tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure you take a second and click the subscribe button that's found under this video. And that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So today, we're going to go ahead and answer a very, very commonly asked question on my channel. Is it a good thing to detail a brand new car, so brand spanking new from the showroom floor, delivered straight to you, and you're bringing it back home? The short answer is yes, absolutely. And I'll explain why and also give you tips and tricks. So first of all, let's give some background info. Why is it important to detail a brand new car? Because the common thinking is, well, it's brand new, right? It comes straight from the factory. It's as perfect as it's ever going to be, and it looks as good as it will ever be. So I don't have anything to do for many, many months other than washing it when it's dirty, right? Well, no, and that's quite the opposite. And on my channel, by the way, you're going to see many videos on what we call new car preps. So basically all the detailing steps that I perform on a brand new car. And after detailing a car, that's when it's fully new. Because, well, let me tell you why. There are many reasons. First of all, your vehicle at the factory goes through many quality control steps, right? So directly from the manufacturer, there can be some light correction needed, some defects that need to be spot corrected, either with water sanding techniques or with the rotary polisher. And those can leave holograms and buffer trails because guess what? They just do not have the time on the assembly line to fully detail a vehicle for 10, 12, 15 hours on end. It takes a long time, so profits would go down and that wouldn't be efficient for the company. So they want it looking good. Don't get me wrong, the majority of the manufacturers want to do a good job. However, with the volume of cars that they have to produce, they just can't focus 100% attention and personalize the care to each vehicle. So you get those initial corrections that are done, right? So again, with the buffers, like the rotary polishers that leave buffer trails and holograms, those are some light marring on the paint as well, or some water sanding marks if you had paint nibs or dust nibs on the paint that need to be corrected, so on and so forth. So that's just one step. After the vehicle leaves the factory, typically it's transported by truck, by train, and by boat, or a combination of all of those, which means that the vehicle is also exposed, first of all, to the elements, to industrial fallout, to brake dust, especially rail dust when it's transported by train, and all that stuff can accumulate on that paint and, well, leave some contamination in the paintwork. So first of all, rail dust, brake dust, all that kind of thing, well, it can leave iron particles that get embedded into the clear coat, and those hot particles, they'll wedge themselves inside that clear coat, and over time, water, oxidation, contact with air, and all that kind of stuff, where it's going to lead to rusting. So those are the orange specks that you see pretty much on light colored cars, but all colored cars have that, and that's contamination from iron particles that are embedded in there. There are techniques to remove those through chemical decontamination. We're going to talk about that a bit later when I talk about all the steps that are necessary to properly detail a brand new car. But so now that's the second phase, right? After that, once it gets to a boating dock, sometimes it's left there for weeks on end, and then it's transported again to its final destination, hopefully if it doesn't go through any other transits, which is going to be the dealership. Now at the dealership, once again, yes, you guessed it, it's left in dealership parking lots or stuff like that for weeks or sometimes months on end, going through seasons, exposed to the elements, industrial fallout, anything that's outside, bird droppings, tree sap, acid rain, and all kinds of stuff that can be found outside. So you can imagine already at this, through this journey, your vehicle has been through a lot, right? And then, unfortunately, the majority of car dealerships do a very poor job, guys, of prepping vehicles. And I know, as I've been detailing for over 24 years now, I've seen a bunch of brand new vehicles, and 99.9% of them all need some form of detailing. None of them are perfect out of the factory, and especially not when delivered through the dealership. Now, why is that? Well, at the dealership, unfortunately, they have employees to do a quick job. Once again, they don't have time to focus unless you pay for a crazy detail service, which that's another topic for another video. But the prep you pay, right, the dealership fees that's included when you purchase a vehicle typically includes some sort of a preparation or washing of your vehicle, because obviously through delivery, you want at least to have a clean vehicle, right? But the thing is, they often use the same dirty water for the 10, 20, 30 cars that they're washing during that day. They don't necessarily clean the buckets or change the wash solution, right, just for your car. They use washing techniques that are very poor. Those are not necessarily detailers, but they're just people who wash cars for a living, so they don't have the same care or attention as an enthusiast or an actual detailer would have. Next, they also unfortunately induce what we call in the industry love marks or dealership installed scratches and swirls due to poor washing techniques and drying techniques. So a quick tour of the majority of those car dealerships, you'll notice that they don't have the 2-bucket method. They don't use that. They don't have grit guards in the bottom of the pails to keep the dirt in the bottom separated from the wash solution. They don't necessarily use a pH neutral car shampoo. And at that, they don't necessarily use car shampoos, period. Who knows what they do? They can use heavy chemicals, heavy degreasers, and basically anything to just deliver the car to you so it can look good quickly under that light inside the dealership. It looks good, it looks clean, right? And off you go. Well, there's more to it than that, because again, there can be scratches from the factory that weren't removed. They're not going to take their time to machine polish the surface, thoroughly decontaminate it from all the elements and the industrial fallout and the brake dust and the rail dust that we were talking about before. There can be some tar deposits as well. Basically a bunch of stuff that needs attention, right, before you go ahead and apply some sort of protection. Talking about protection, once again, they don't have time, for example, to apply a full-blown ceramic coating, a multi-year coating on your car, because that would cut through costs and profit. So that's a big no-no for a dealership. And also it would take, frankly, too much time. Imagine with the quantity of vehicles that they delivered, if they needed to take 10 to 12 hours or 15 hours to prep a brand new car, that would be inconceivable for a dealership, and they'd be closing doors because they'd be bankrupt. And I don't blame them for that. They have a business to operate. However, I wish they'd up their standards a bit. And hopefully through videos like these, you guys, by the way, should share this with any friend or a member of your family or anybody you think that's purchasing a brand new car. Make them understand why it's important to start protecting your vehicle as soon as you take delivery from the dealership. So more on that in just a few seconds. Now, to get back to that dealership, once again, when they're done washing your vehicle, right, washing the vehicle, what they're often going to do is just apply a quick spray wax or a very cheap wax, just so it has that gloss when you're taking delivery and it feels kind of slick to the touch. And that's just all for appearance. That's all for the game. It's not something that's going to last for long. Typically, it'll last a few days. It'll wash off in your first hand wash that you're going to perform. And that's it. Again, it was just for the vehicle to look good when you take delivery, and off you go. And they couldn't be happier, right? Well, this is where it is important to, first of all, make sure that you take care of your vehicle as soon as you take delivery. If you don't have the skills or knowledge, which, by the way, that's why my videos are there for, and I'll leave some links, by the way, to new car preps that I have done. So videos that you're going to see me do the exterior and interior from A to Z or A to Z. Basically all the steps that are needed to clean, enhance, and protect all the surfaces, both inside and out. It's not that complicated when you understand the basics. But again, if you don't feel comfortable, well, Well, contact a local detailer, right? And ask him to perform a new car prep on your vehicle. So as soon as you take delivery, make sure that you plan ahead of time, bring the vehicle the following day or at least that same week to that detailer and have him do that new car prep. Your car is going to stay looking way better for longer. It's going to be a lot easier to clean during your maintenance washes, which means it's a lot more enjoyable when you're washing your own vehicle. And also it's going to increase its resale value because it will look that much better. Don't forget, your vehicle is the second most or biggest expense in your life right after your home typically. So you want to take care of it because essentially it's also a depreciating asset. So as soon as you go out of the dealership lot, you've lost 10 to 15% of the value, God knows how much, but it starts depreciating right away. So might as well take care of it. And that's not only mechanically, but also aesthetically as far as detailing goes for the exterior and both the interior. Protect against the elements, against the damaging effects of the UV rays, which is one of the biggest things that accelerate the oxidation process of the paintwork and make your plastics fade and look white, and those headlights look light yellowish or that milky white appearance over time. That's all due to Mother Nature, the elements, the sun again, and you want to protect against all that. And while you're protecting it, well, you're enhancing the appearance as well. So you're bringing more clarity to the paintwork, more depth, more gloss, more shine, more pop, and vibrancy to the color as well, if you have a special color, for example, or even on any colored car for that matter. And you're going to make the maintenance wash a lot easier. Now, before I get into what instructions you should be giving to your dealership prior to taking delivery, let's talk about what steps are to be performed when you grab a brand new vehicle. So once you understand the process of what goes behind a new car prep, it's easier for you to do at home, or if you're paying a professional detailer to do the work for you, you understand what you're paying for. And that's important because a lot of viewers often say, oh man, I was quoted like $1,500 from my detailer, and is that too much because he wants to perform a ceramic coating application? And well, there's a lot of man labor or manual labor involved in detailing a vehicle properly to a high level, right? And so there's the cost of materials, there's the cost of the electricity, the water, the location where that person is, if he's renting a place, right, to detail out from. So there's a lot of costs involved into doing this. It's not just washing a car. When we're talking about detailing, is going into the details, guys. So a proper new car prep, first of all, you would bring the vehicle in and the detailer will inspect it, right? Use some form of an inspection light. And let me grab one, by the way, because you should also have that or something similar when you're going to go to the dealership to inspect the vehicle upon delivery. So you should have some sort of an inspection light like this. And what I like to do is go through the entire vehicle inside and out, especially on the paintwork, and go close. Don't be scared. Take your time. If you need a half an hour or an hour on your own, tell the salesman or the sales rep, give me a few minutes, let me inspect this on my own and I'll get back to you. And why do we inspect the paintwork before taking delivery? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, common sense, because as soon as you cross that door and you leave the dealership, whatever happens afterwards, it's all on you, right? Try and make them believe that something happened that you didn't see at the dealership, but why you had that scratch or that bump in one of the panels, a puck or something like that, a dent, who knows? It's very hard to prove that the dealership didn't do that once you leave their premises. So it's important to do a thorough inspection. Again, take your time, bring your loved one or a friend or a member of your family to help you inspect, because sometimes a second pair of eyes helps, especially when you're excited, right? It's always fun to take delivery of a brand new car. I know I change cars every 3 years for a brand new vehicle, and pretty soon you're gonna see a new vehicle on my channel, because this year, 2021, is the year for me to get a new vehicle. Will it be an SUV? Will it be a car? I don't know, but it's going to be crazy. So stay tuned. Okay, so you're inspecting your vehicle, and then once you bring it to the detailer or you bring it home, you should re-inspect it to make sure. And you're going to start with a pre-wash, right? So what is a pre-wash? A pre-wash typically is done with a foam cannon. If you don't have a pressure washer, because you attach your foam cannon to a pressure washer, you can also use a pump sprayer, a foaming type pump sprayer. It's a bit more manual labor and you're pumping a lot, but ideally you have a foam cannon and a pressure washer setup. And you're basically going to blanket the entire vehicle with a layer of that snow foam, which is typically a shampoo that's formulated for use with a foam cannon. So it has some high suds and high foaming formulas, and it's going to help lift any loose dirt and contamination. It's not going to clean your vehicle. So this is just a preventative pre-wash to help loosen up and lubricate the surface for the wash stage. So once you're done rinsing the vehicle, then you're going to go ahead and do the contact wash. So ideally, you want to have a 3-bucket system. That's what I use. So 2 buckets for the paintwork, one with your clean wash solution, and the second bucket for your rinse water, so just some clean water, to dunk the mitt in that, and then you put the mitt into the soapy solution, and that avoids cross-contamination with any dirt and debris that you have on your paint. Well, when you're dunking in the rinse water first, you're going to loosen and free up all that dirt and debris in the bottom of that bucket, and then you put it in your soapy water, right? And the third bucket is one dedicated for wheels. I always start by cleaning the wheels and tire first, as those are the dirtiest parts of the vehicle typically. So after the wheels are done, it's time to do the washing of the paintwork and the rest of the vehicle. Use a microfiber wash mitt. Forget the days with the old, I know some people love lamb's wool or something like that, or any type of older mitts, or forget sponges, that's for sure, unless you're using a rinseless wash with an appropriate sponge, but that's for another video. So just use a microfiber wash mitt, your favorite one. I have a bunch of tutorials, by the way, on my channel of how to properly wash your vehicle. And so you're washing the entire body, you're gonna rinse the vehicle, and now it's time to get into the decontamination. So remember when we spoke about what's in the environment, the industrial fallout, the brake dust, the rail dust, the elements, some tar deposits that you might have as well, things like tree sap, bird droppings that might have left stuff on your paint as well, any acid rain that have left water spots, things like that. So you want to first start by decontaminating the paint. See it like exfoliating the paintwork from all the crap before you go ahead and protect it, right? You want to perfect and clean the paint before you protect it. So for the first step of decontamination, typically we go through what we call chemical decontamination. And yes, you guessed it, with chemicals. So typically 2 types. You're going to get an iron remover, which is going to remove the embedded iron particles. So on cars that have a few more months on the road, those are the orange spots or the brownish spots, the specks that you see, especially on white cars. Now, all cars have these. It's just it's more obvious on light colored cars. So that comes from typically the brake dust from your brake discs and your brake pads. So all those ferrous deposits that oxidize and rust over time. So you want to loosen those up, change the chemistry to make them rounder and easier to flush off the paint. So that's why you would use an iron remover. If you see some black little dots on the paint that are kind of like gummy in texture, well, typically those are tar deposits from either the tire or the asphalt if you're outside and rolling on the roads, or freshly redone road, who knows. So for tar deposits, you use a tar remover. So once you're done with the chemical decontamination, we move on to what we call mechanical decontamination. And you do that typically with a clay bar, a clay towel, or a clay mitt. So the clay media, basically, it's kind of like putty dough, right? That kids have. Well, this is specifically formulated for car paint, so don't use Play-Doh for that, please. Use actual detailing clay, and you're going to use a clay lubricant. I know some people like using just the soapy water like they had the shampoo for their vehicle. I prefer dedicated clay lubricants. So basically you're spraying that liberally on the surface. That acts as a lubricating coat, and you're rubbing that clay media, so whether it's the clay towel, clay mitt, or clay bar, and that's going to fully remove and pull out any other contamination that's still left on the paint, because the chemical decontamination only removed tar deposits, glue deposits or glue residue from stickers and stuff like that, or iron removal from iron deposits, right? So there can still be other dirt and contamination in the clear coat, and the clay stage is going to remove that. Now the clay is a mild abrasive because that's the nature of it. Yes, it's going to leave your paint silky smooth. You're going to notice after you're done cleaning the vehicle, it's going to leave it silky smooth because you pulled all that contamination away. But claying can leave some light marring. Now, if you use a lot of lube, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Once again, a lot of people overdo this. You absolutely need to polish. Not really. Inspect your paint after claying, and you're going to see if you see any light scratches, any light swirls, or any light marring, either from the factory or again due to the clay stage, well then you can go ahead and do the machine polishing steps. One slight tip on claying: you only need to clay vehicles that actually need claying. Now, how do you verify that? A lot of people use the clear baggie test. So what that is once your vehicle is clean and dry, put a Ziploc bag, transparent bag, over your hand and run your fingers in the bottom parts of the door panels and the rocker panels, And if you feel any gritty texture, any sandpaper-like texture or grit in the surface, that means there's contamination. Then you go ahead and clay. The majority of new cars, it depends, it's a 50-50 on that one, how badly they were exposed to the elements and contamination. But again, verify. If it's very smooth to the touch and there's no contamination, you can skip the clay stage. But if you do feel contamination, once again, make sure you clay. Now, you've clayed the vehicle, you're done with all the decontamination steps, and you're inspecting your paint, right? And well, you see some light scratches, some love marks, some marring, either coming from the factory, from the dealership through the poor washing and drying techniques, or anything else they might have done, who knows, and also from the clay stage. So now you have the chance to do a machine polishing stage. So usually 2 steps for very, very deep scratches and swirls. You're going to first start by a compound, and then you're going to finish off with a polishing stage. So the polish further refines the sanding marks left by the compound stage, is good for lighter swirls and lighter scratches, is going to increase the gloss by a lot and the clarity in your paint. So a lot of people don't know this, and you'll be the smartest in the room if you take one thing away today. The biggest increase in gloss, guys, is always through machine polishing. So think about it. Your paint, if you look at it in a microscope, is not the flat surface you think it is. It has valleys and edges. And if you have scratches in your paint, those valleys and edges are grooves inside what you think is a plain surface, but it's not. And when you get those grooves from big scratches and swirls, well, the light can bounce off and refract correctly. So it's kind of jagged the way it bounces, and you see those scratches with your eyes. So the goal of machine polishing is to level that surface, yes, to make it as flat and true as possible to get the most light refraction, and that's when you get the biggest gloss increase. You're going to get more clarity as well, remove any cloudiness or milky appearance, and of course the benefit of making the paint as perfect as you can. And don't go overboard, guys, because you want to protect the clear coat as much as possible, because machine polishing, yes, you're using abrasives, so you're reducing the amount of clear coat. Now, don't panic. You can machine polish your vehicle once or twice yearly for many years, and you shouldn't run through major obstacles. And especially on brand new cars, technically, you should only have to do a polishing stage, because you shouldn't have any super deep or scratches or swirls, right? So usually a 1-step polish is all you'll need to refine the surface, make it true, make it flat, further cleanse it with the light polish abrasives, and enhance clarity and gloss. So once you're done with the polishing steps, up to you to decide if you want a compound and a polish or just a polish. Typically, again, on brand new cars, 1 polish is enough. You're going to want to use an IPA wipe. Now, what is that? That's an isopropyl alcohol mix, or you can also use a paint prep. Pretty much all the brands that have ceramic coatings also have what they call a paint prep solution. So CarPro, for example, has Eraser. Geon has what they call the Geon Prep. Optimum Polymer Technologies has the Optimum Paint Prep. G-Technic has their panel wipe, and so on and so forth. So basically an alcohol-based solution, or you can do your own IPA mix in a bottle, and that's going to help to remove any polishing oils and residue that's left from the polishing stages, and that is going to further enhance the bonding capabilities of the protection that you're going to apply last with the clear coat. So it's especially crucial if you're planning on applying a graphene coating or a ceramic coating. So those little protectants in glass bottles, many tutorials on my channel once again, those are multi-year paint protectants. Now you have to decide after that IPA stage, which is also, I would also do before applying a regular wax or a sealant, just to be more thorough. So when you're using an IPA or a paint prep, again, you're removing any polishing oils, any residue, you're making the paint squeaky clean. The water at that point should be flat on the panel, very slow to sheet off, and that's a visual indicator that there's no protection left on the paint, right? And that was one of the goals as well of the paint polishing stages and the IPA wipe, is to remove any previous protection that might have been put on there by the dealership, either by accident or for a quick delivery, right? So it can look good to your eyes. So if there was any previous wax or sealant, you do not want to apply a ceramic coating or a graphene coating on top of older waxes or sealants because they won't bond to the clear coat, right? They're going to have that interference from the wax or sealant. So machine polishing and IPA wipe down or paint prep will remove any previous protection, so you get a 100% clean surface to work with. Once again, promoting a better bond or adhesion from the paint protectant, so you're going to get greater durability, higher chance of reaching that maximum durability claim of whatever protection you're applying, and also the product is going to perform a lot better. So you've done all that, and now you've done your IPA or your paint prep, your paint is squeaky clean, and it's ready for its paint protection step. Now that is the most crucial step because that's what protects your clear coat against the elements and the UV rays. So you have a choice, typically, of 3 big families of paint protection. Carnauba waxes, right, which typically last 2 to 3 months. Those are more organic or plant-based. Great for shine, just don't last long and don't have much chemical resistance. Second category is synthetic paint sealants. Those will typically last twice as long, 5 to 6 months. The gloss they give, though, is not as warm or nice looking as waxes. We call that a cold gloss or a cold look. But still, they're more durable than regular waxes. A lot of people like to start with a base layer of a paint sealant and top it off with a layer of wax for the best of 2 worlds. So durability from the sealant and warmth of gloss and nice gloss from the wax. And the third category, and this has been all the rave in the past 5 years, are ceramic coatings, and recently in the past year or 2, graphene coatings. So we'll put graphene and ceramic in the same category, see them as multi-year paint protectants, again in those glass bottles. Those will last for many years, have better hydrophobic properties, meaning the water is going to bead off and sheet off the paint, making it easier to clean during maintenance washes. That is what we also call self-cleaning properties. Coatings typically have better UV protection, better gloss, they have great slickness as well, and they have way better chemical resistance compared to regular waxes or sealants. So it's up to you to decide which of the 3 you want to apply on your vehicle. Just don't mix coatings with regular waxes or sealants because the bonding is not made to be compatible and you don't want that, right? I have a video on my channel, by the way, explaining the differences between waxes, paint sealants, and ceramic coatings. So I highly recommend that you check that popular video out. I'll drop a link in the description under this video. If you guys want to dig more and learn everything there is to know about those 3 types of protection, so you can make a more intelligent choice or a more informed decision. So another question that's often asked is, well, I thought I heard that you're not supposed to apply any waxes or ceramic coatings or any paint protection on freshly painted cars. Now, that is partly true and only for repainted vehicles, guys. So if your car was fully repainted following damage at a body shop or something like that, or you had a panel repainted, well, you do not want to apply any paint protection and you don't want to clean your car for at least 1 to 2 months to let the paint fully cure and to let the gassing out phase finish for the paintwork. That's crucial. So those body shops, well, they don't have all the equipment and the ovens that they do to cure the paint like your manufacturer does at the factory, right? So they have these infrared curing lamps at the body shop or some small heaters to basically help heat up the paint and cure it a bit. But the full curing process takes about 30 days to 60 days. Ideally, let it go for 2 months. Do not wash your car and do not apply any paint protection. Now, if you have a brand new car that you took delivery from at your dealership, well, the gassing out phase or the curing phase of the paintwork is completely done. So as soon as you take delivery of your brand new car, you can bring it home or bring it straight to your detailer and they can detail it and should detail it right away. The earlier you start, the better. Because through the manufacturer, so at the car facility where they built your vehicle, they have sophisticated ovens and the paint is cooked and is fully cured. So all that process and the gassing out phase is done. Any paint shop expert out there, I'm sure, would agree. They know how it works. So those are the recommendations. So now you've gone through protecting the exterior fully. You can also ceramic coat or apply a form of wax or sealant on your rims as well. Going to be a lot easier to clean during those maintenance washes. You've applied a tire dressing, again, to make those tires pop and for them to look good. And then you attack your interior. So you can put a fabric guard on your seats to protect against those liquid spills. If you have fabric seats, cloth, or even on your fabric carpets, right? On your floor mats, that kind of stuff. You can apply UV protection in the form of an interior dressing that has UV protection. So on your plastics, your rubber trim, all that kind of stuff. And of course, on your leather seats, what I recommend is that you apply either an appropriate leather sealant from companies like Color Lock, for example, or a leather coating. Yeah, a ceramic coating made for leather. Everybody has it. Anybody who makes ceramic coatings, G-Technic, CarPro, you have well, all the companies, whether it's Kamikaze, you have Geon as well. Any serious company that provides coatings for all the surfaces, they typically have leather protection. And you don't need leather conditioners, and you don't need leather serums and that kind of stuff on brand new leather. Why? Because brand new leather has a protective film or coating on top. So it's a transparent layer, kind of like the clear coat on your paint, right? And that thing is impenetrable. So the serum or the conditioner will not penetrate to the leather because you have that protective film on top. So what you want to do with the leather sealants or the leather coatings is protect the leather against friction damage from coming in and out of the vehicle, against wear and tear, against the UV rays and oxidation from the sun, against fading, cracking, and also against dye transfer, right? From things like your jeans. And when you get that blue dye on your especially lighter colored leather, we all hate that. So it makes cleaning the leather a lot easier when it's coated and protected. And again, protect the leather from leather spills, always to make everything easier for your maintenance cleaning. You can also protect your glass with a glass sealant. Basically, again, check the links that I have in the description on the new car preps that I have done on many types of vehicles. It's going to give you an idea and a visual cue on all the steps from beginning to end for both the exterior and interior. So now your car is fully protected. It looks awesome. It's going to be easier to maintain. And you know what? You did it. Or if you don't have the confidence or knowledge yet, and you're still building on those knowledge with videos like mine or from my fellow YouTubers out there who do detailing videos as well, you're eventually going to get there. It's like building blocks, right? You get your knowledge blocks and you stack them up until you have a full wall of all the info you need and the confidence you need to go out there and detail your own cars. But once again, you can entrust a local detailer to you. Have a look at who's around, talk with them, and see if they're professional enough to you, because you should only give your vehicle to someone you fully trust. I know if you're watching this video, most probably your vehicle means a lot to you. I know it does to me, and I wouldn't entrust pretty much, well, there's not a lot of people that would entrust with that. So you have to find somebody that you do trust that does an awesome job. Look at their social media. I also have a video, by the way, on how to find a good detailer. So how do you pick a detailer? Check that out. I had a bunch of professional detailing friends from YouTube help me out on that one and give tips and tricks on how you can find a detailer. So we're always here to help you. So now your vehicle's all done, it looks all cool, higher resale value, easier to maintain during your maintenance washes, and well, basically if you go to car meets or cars and coffees, guess who's going to be the center of attraction or attention? It's you. It's your vehicle. It's going to look that good. People are going to love to look at it. The paint is going to look slick. And I don't know why, but I'm sure my viewers who've been here for a long time watching my videos can attest to this. It's always more enjoyable to drive a clean car, a freshly detailed vehicle. I don't know, there's something about that that just gets my blood pumping, the blood rushing. You feel better. I don't know what it is, but yeah, once again, even after 24 years of detailing, I'm still super passionate. As you can tell, the smile comes naturally because I absolutely love it. So what instructions should you be giving to your dealership prior to taking delivery of your vehicle? Now that is key. And this is things that I always do. So I've ever since I started purchasing my own vehicles, so from my first car, they've always been brand new. And so I've had many cars over the past decades. And well, I'm 40 right now, so you can do the math. I started driving, I think, when I was 16. But anyhow, I digress. So to get back to the main topic, what instructions do you give? So it's super important to be very clear ahead of time with your dealership on a few points. First of all, tell them only wash the vehicle inside and out. That's it. No waxes, no dressings, no tire dressing, no paint sealant, nothing, especially not on the paint, because you don't want any old paint protection to interfere with what you're going to be doing at home or going to be giving your vehicle to a detailer for, right? And believe me, if you're doing business with a detailer, he'll be very happy that you're giving these instructions to the dealership, because it makes their job a lot more, well, enjoyable to do, because they don't have to remove all the previous crap or do guesswork on what crappy products or cheap level stuff has been put on your car right before they go ahead and start their artwork, because I have very high esteem and appreciation for all you detailers out there who also watch my videos. Kudos to everyone. It is a very hard job to do. Our bodies go through a lot over the decades, right? I know my back always hurts. So even though we love what we do, it's a lot of painstaking work, guys, and a lot of hours. Typically a new car prep for me, even though the car's brand new, right, will take me anywhere from 10 to 15 hours. So think about that. So yeah, you want to tell them to just wash the exterior. Only use a pH neutral car shampoo, wax free. No waxes in that shampoo. We don't want that. And also tell them to use a fresh soapy solution exclusively for your car. Believe me, and don't be shy about it, you're already paying for that service in the freight and delivery costs and all those hidden numbers that are there. They're supposed to prep your vehicle. So you're giving them less job by telling them not to wax. Don't put tire shine on my tires. So believe me, they'll also be happy. Okay, so to wash your vehicle using only pH neutral car shampoo, wax-free shampoo, use a fresh soapy solution in the bucket, use microfiber towels to dry your vehicle or a car blower if they have one, or car dryer to remove the water, but basically to be very careful and gentle. And don't be shy, tell them that you'll be inspecting your vehicle thoroughly upon delivery. And once again, get a trusty detailing light. All right, guys, I'll leave links in the description, don't worry, so you guys can find some that are inexpensive yet high quality to do the job, and they're going to serve you for all your detailing needs as well, by the way. So all of that, and once again, make sure that you stress and call back at least a few days before to remind them, because sometimes they forget or the message doesn't get passed on to the detailer or the car washer at your car dealership. And yeah, miscommunication often happens, and I've seen that time and time again. So once they've done all that, well, now you're comfortable to know that you're starting with a clean slate and that they didn't purposely add any crap on your vehicle or didn't do any superfluous steps or unnecessary steps with products that might actually be damaging the surfaces, because often they use petroleum-based tire dressings. Yes, they're super glossy, but they're doing you a disservice because that will dry and fade and crack the tires over time. You get a lot of tire slings, so all that filmy gunk sprayed on your vehicle, those black dots that we see on guys who put those overly wet looking dressings. We don't want that. This is a detailing channel. We want to do things properly. And once again, once you take delivery, it's super important to tell them that you're going to be inspecting the vehicle. Okay. And that's pretty much it. As far as the dealership goes, those are all the instructions you need to give them. So it's pretty simple, right? Don't use any waxes or sealants or coatings on my car. Use a wax-free pH neutral car shampoo. Don't put any dressings inside the car or on the plastics, and no dressings on the tires. Basically, just clean it, and that's it. So it's clean when you take delivery so you can inspect it. That's the only reason why you'd want your dealership to clean your vehicle, is for you to have a thorough inspection to see if there are any dealership installed scratches or swirls, if there were any dents in the vehicle. Basically do a thorough once around or a once over on the entire vehicle for you guys to inspect and address any situations right away before you leave the dealership lot. So I think we covered all the points, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. By the way, if you like these videos, you have to show me your support. Take a second, smash the thumbs up button. Also, once again, if you haven't done so yet and you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, all the products, the equipment, tips, tricks, techniques, and a bunch of entertaining stuff and cool stuff as well, well, consider clicking the subscribe button that's found under this video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. Also, click the bell icon while you're down there, and that's the notifications icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload a video to YouTube. So guys, thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.